Hey everybody, welcome back with a new video. Sorry for not uploading yesterday. I was very ill yesterday and I'm starting to feel a little bit better now. So if my voice still sounds a little bit raspy, that's why. Anyways, today I will be looking at one of my older short films called Virus, and I'll be deconstructing it and looking at some things that I thought were not very good. I got this idea from a video that Film Riot did, so if you want to check that one out, links in the description. So let's start right after the intro. Okay, so first off, if you look over here, you can see that this shot is completely blown out over here. And then you have some parts over here that are completely black, and that's just because the dynamic range of my older camera was not very great, and you can definitely see that here completely white, here completely black there. And also the framing and audio is not perfect. I think I just used the audio straight from the camera for this instead of like an external recorder like the Zoom H1. So that's interesting. And then over here you can see that this shot has some very weird jitter in the beginning. Here you can see there's this weird jitter, and there's also he's just mashing his hands on the keyboard, and then you get this sort of weird code thing, and it's not very realistic to say the least, because it's just mashing his hands on the keyboard, and you can hear that, which is not the actor's fault. It's just me not writing it and not directing it very good. And then over here you can see that there's this weird, while it's fading out, it's panning to the left. I don't know why. Okay, this looks pretty cool. And then you have this 3D text, which I rendered in Blender. It looks pretty cool, but not in this context, and you can see that there is still some green spill over here because I rendered it as like a green screen thing with a green background so that I could key it out. And there's still a bit of green spill. The anti-aliasing isn't very nice, but I like the background. There could have been a little bit of more motion. And then there's this weird jitter at the beginning of the text.
Hey man.
And then over here the framing is pretty weird because you could just take the table and put it in the center of the frame. And then you have this power socket and some newspapers on the wall, which looks very distracting. I could have edited those out. Well, maybe not at the time, but if I would do it again now, I would probably edit those out or just use another location altogether.
I saw it, and I want some help.
And also, the audio is not very great, so I would have added subtitles to it so that you can hear the dialogue.
You can do that? I have years of experience, man. I first want to see you. Go outside.
And then you have this phone call thing, which I believe is just the actor standing behind the camera and talking, and it just has echo added onto it, which doesn't sound like a phone at all.
I have years of experience, man. I first want to see you. Go outside.
And then there's this over here. You can see that his hand is on the table, and then in the next shot it's over there. So continuity. I like the idea of this shot. It could have been executed better, but I like the idea.
What?
Then over here you have this blurred part, which is just very distracting. I could probably edit that out by copying over the existing bricks, but now it's just very distracting because you see this blurred plane.
How do you know where I live?
And then they're talking face to face. They're literally like a meter in front of each other, and they're still calling on the phone. That's pretty weird.
Tracking phones is easy, man. You might want to root your phone and run a different operating system.
And then this dialogue, it doesn't make any sense, and that's just me writing a script that's not good at all.
Well, never mind. Come in. I show you what I have.
Then again, I kind of like the idea of this shot. It could have been executed better because of there's this warp stabilizer that's doing a sort of okay job. So there he's grabbing the key. Okay, this is a pretty cool shot where the camera reaches around the actor. Yeah, this one. And then the camera swirls around. That's pretty cool. I like that. Okay, the timing on this one's pretty cool. You have the music starting right after the dialogue. Yeah, that's pretty cool. But then you have this sort of sub-scene that doesn't make any sense. He's grabbing a glass of water, but that doesn't add anything to the story. Pro tip, if something doesn't add to your story, scrap it. And then there's, this just looks like product placement. It isn't, but I didn't mind to change that shot.
No problem. So I need a system to hack a specific Bitcoin account address.
And then this just takes way too long. I could have shot this again.
New security. But why do we need it? No questions. You got 100 bits, okay?
And then the dialogue is again very soft over here. I could have added subtitles. Okay, this is pretty cool. Again, it doesn't look very professional at all. But I think the music is pretty cool. And then this should look like a day for night shot, but it's clearly just day. And then this warp stabilizer is just not good at all. And this takes way too long. I mean, I get the point, but it takes way too long for him to get upstairs. And then there's just this awful transition, which I believe is just like a standard transition that you find in your video editing software. Which doesn't make any sense. And then the warp stabilizer again. Man, I loved the warp stabilizer back then. Okay, this shot's pretty good. I like that one. I mean, there's still a lot of stuff on the table. And then he couldn't get... I remember this one. The actor actually couldn't get the Chromebook that was on the table. He couldn't actually get it open. And we kept that in for some reason. And then you have the Windows startup sound, which is funny because it's a Chromebook which runs Chrome OS and not Windows, so... Okay, I kind of like the music over here. It does fit the story.
What the hell? Sorry man, I need to do this.
Wow, beautiful. Okay, so the first punch is pretty weak, but this one, that one's pretty damn good. Wait, not this one? The sound design could have been like a little bit better, but the punch is pretty darn good. I like how he doesn't go after it. He just goes to the bathroom. Like, he could have easily pursued that person running down. And then this thing again.
Gotcha.
And then here the background is kind of blown out. Again, this takes way too long. Here you can just hear two people running, like me holding the camera and the actor. Okay, and then here he missed like one word out of the 3 words he had to say. So the last sentence doesn't make any sense. It was supposed to say you don't deserve it, but then he just said you don't deserve, which doesn't make any sense. And then we have the credits, which is again this really crappy render from Blender. And then I had to slow this down, but it was slowed down in such a way that you just see a few frames that are lagging. I like the background though. Okay, so that is it for Virus. Now that was fun looking back at an older project that I did quite a while ago, and as you can see there's a lot of things that I could have done differently, and it's good to look back at the thing that I made and see the problems, which means that in the next short film that I'm going to create, I can take these things into account and make sure that I don't repeat the same problems. So if you have anything that you want to add to this video, you can leave it in the comments section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also check out the video this video was inspired by going to the link in the description, and I will see you next time with a new video. Bye bye.
Hi there, thanks for watching. Click here to see my latest video, click here to see a highlighted one, and click here to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already.